You know, I used to play chess when I was little, and I thought it was so amazing. That didn't last long. Hey guys, I'm Ava and this is WWM Productions. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you enjoy your stay. If you do, make sure to like and comment and subscribe. If you are returning, thank you so much. We love having you. Now, we talk a lot about movies on this channel, but we never really get to discuss any of the shows that Netflix has to offer. As a pro Netflix binger myself, I can wholeheartedly say that I watch a lot of such shows, and seeing as it has topped the Netflix top 10 for an astonishingly long time, and it is the only Netflix original series to do so, it is no surprise to me that I ended up watching The Queen's Gambit. Quick disclaimer, I will start this video as a spoiler-free overview for those of you who have yet to watch the show. I will give you a warning well in advance before I go into the spoiler territory. Please don't ruin the show for yourself. This really is something that should be experienced on your own first. On October 23rd, 2020, and it is still ranked #1 on Netflix's top 10 as we speak. Beyond that, it maintains a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. The big question is why? Why did these 7 episodes of chessy goodness steal the show on the Netflix stage as quickly and as absolutely as they did? The Queen's Gambit blends charisma and style and narrative finesse in a way that makes chess feel like fantasy. You know, I had my reserves when I heard they were making a show about chess, and then people were losing their minds over it. They were going crazy. A game that lasts upwards of several hours and is essentially 2 people sitting in total silence never struck me as something that could capture an audience and make their hearts beat faster and keep them on their toes. But this show showed me a whole new side to chess that I never understood. That doesn't even begin to touch on what The Queen's Gambit has achieved with its cast and its writing and its aesthetic as a whole. Its star, Anya Taylor-Joy, did really a fantastic job of bringing Beth Harmon to life. She was amazing at showing Beth's transition from this awkward little girl to this confident and glamorous young woman. She was also brilliant at showing Beth overcome her emotional highs and her lows and work through her vices. The overall journey that Beth goes on and her character arc as a whole is fantastic, so major props to the writers for bringing to life such an amazing character. The physical design of the entire show was also incredible. From its decor to the soundtrack to the costumes, the creators nailed the vibes of this show to a T in every way possible. I'm serious, 1960s chess tournament was an aesthetic that I never knew I needed until now. Just the fashion in this show alone is enough to fuel like 8 Pinterest boards, but knowing me, I'll probably make like 12. Then you have the orphanage sequence, which is just stunning in itself. They smashed the depressingness with hints of dark academia and the vintage air of everything. That's not even mentioning the scenes in Paris and Moscow that are also gorgeous. The Queen's Gambit is also killer at visual representations of the inner machinations of a chess genius's mind. The way they show Beth's visualization of the board on the ceiling is beautiful, and it further emphasizes how the game is a literal part of her mind rather than just a hobby. It takes her all around the world and it connects her to so many amazing people that help her become what she was always meant to be. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the story as a whole, so if you haven't watched it yet, I strongly suggest you do so now. This video will still be here later, but your opportunity to watch it with clean eyes may not be. You have been warned, spoilers ahead. So if you're still watching, that means you're all caught up on the series. Now, you probably have your own thoughts and opinions on the story. Please, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. With that out of the way, let's talk. Wow, just wow. I was blown away by this story. The way they showed Beth's addictive tendencies and how her journey with chess complemented her journeys with addiction, I thought was just literally genius. Just from the beginning, she first visualizes the chessboard when she's high on the pills that she gets from the orphanage. And that was just a brilliant way to build that connection. Then, as she got more invested into chess, she got more addicted to alcohol and drugs. She wasn't just addicted to substances, but she was addicted to winning. And it took her accepting losses for her to actually move towards her sobriety, and neither of which was an easy path for her. She believes that she needs the drugs to be successful, but she doesn't finally beat the best of the best until she's sober. The key figures in her sobriety are the ones who help her win in the end, too. Harry Beltic, her first big win and later coach, was one of the first people to warn her about her uses of alcohol and drugs, and she didn't listen. Benny Watts, the former US champion, trains her for Paris and Moscow, but he also warns her about her substance abuse. Then, they are two of the people who call her before her big win in Moscow. But you know who wasn't on that call? Alma or Cleo, both of which were huge enablers for Beth as she grew up. Alma was not without good intentions, but was a terrible influence on Beth when it came to substance abuse. It was Alma's alcoholism and death that pushed Beth into rock bottom. And that's not even to mention that she was prescribed the exact drugs that Beth was addicted to since she was 9 years old. Cleo, on the other hand, was not barred from the call by the veil of death. But her friends were there, which I think was really telling. She caused Beth to relapse and drink herself half to death in Paris, which in turn made her lose her big game. If she were in that call, I think that it really would have undermined what those people and that call itself represented for Beth. We also need to talk about Beth's journey with family. Of course, as an orphan, she didn't have much family to begin with, but what memories she did have of her biological mother were ingrained in her mind, so much so that it was interwoven with the narrative of the show. The way her mother was independent and always preached that independence was really reflected in Beth's lone wolf lifestyle and how she always had the tendency to push people away. Then, when she gets adopted, she has yet another case of absentee father, so it's just her and Alma for the long haul. Really, there's only one person in this show who could possibly be construed as a father figure for Beth. It's not her biological father, it's not Mr. Wheatley, it's Mr. Scheibel. As I already mentioned, chess is a fundamental part of Beth's being, and she got her start in the basement learning from Mr. Scheibel. He was the first person who actually believed in her and saw her potential. Before Alma, before Towns, before Harry or Benny, it was Mr. Scheibel. Honestly, I think it's pretty obvious that he would have paid the entry fee for that first tournament, regardless of if she offered him a cut of the prize money or not. There's a type of parental pride in the way that he followed her career, and after he died and Beth finds out how he actually felt about her, it brings her to tears. Beth's family is capped off with Jolene. Jolene and Beth grow into women in very different lifestyles, with Beth being adopted and rising to fame very young, and then Jolene being stuck in the orphanage and having to find her way through life on her own. Then, when they come back together, even though Jolene is a substantial part in why Beth was originally hooked on the green pills, she's still the one who's able to pick her back onto her feet. Even if Beth spends a lot of time alone and fills that void with alcohol and drugs and the rush of winning, she still ends up with a huge, strong support network. She has more family than she realizes until the end of the show, when she finally beats those vices and comes out on top. By the end, she's matured and she's learned, and that's the big story. That's what makes the Queen's Gambit so good. It's not really about chess, it's about growing up. Growing into maturity and confidence and independence. It's about letting people into your life who can help, and leaving those who can't behind. And chess. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Also, if you have any recommendations for videos in the future, please let us know. Drop a like and subscribe, and make sure to check out the WWM Productions podcast, We Watch Movies. We post a new episode every week. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!